Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching and welcome to the video. Sorry I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've been trying to get my head around how to do the video and the photography aspects of this better, and I hope that you guys enjoy this. I've set it up so that we have a top-down camera. You'll be able to see my hands still, and then I'll have this so I can talk more to the camera when I need to, and if we don't need to do stuff with the hands all the time, then I won't always be doing that, but I would like to still be able to show you guys things. So we'll kind of cut back and forth, and we'll see how it goes. So today we're going to be talking about the new BLON IEM. It's a really cool product, at least in the way that it looks. I've heard a lot of bad reviews in terms of the way that it sounds, but I gotta tell you, I bought it anyway because I really hope that it's good. I really want it to be good, and I really want, if it's not good, then we've got some tip options here that we can try and see if we can improve the sound of all of it. So I'm hoping that this is a success. If it's not, that's all right. We're gonna start the format of this particular video of just basically doing some listening back and forth between the two. I'll try some different tips. I'm going to listen to a couple of songs that I use as references and just kind of tell you what I think. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. We're going to listen to Dreams. It's just a song that I'm very familiar with, and just hear if tonally, if the bass sounds right, if the musicians sound right, if we're getting any kind of sense of stage and separation between the singers. I think it's just a good option to start with. What tips shall we start with? Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I could not get a good seal with the ones that came with it. I will show those to you very quickly here. So these are the ones that came with it. They don't look half bad to me. I think they might work well for somebody that has smaller ears than me, or smaller ear canals at least. But again, if you ever get the opportunity to invest in some decent tips, I'll do this. I feel like a public service announcement at this point, but here, let me take out the ones that technically would fit me. So if you have, here, I'll just put that over there. The larger ear canals, I'll tell you. So these are the largest ones that come in the package. They feel like very cheap plastic. I don't even know if plastic's the word. I guess it's silicone, but it just doesn't feel good at all. Like, it feels really cheap, and it feels really crappy, and just not great in your ears. And I know a lot of people don't have money to drop a lot on IEMs, let alone tips, but I feel like those same people, you guys are going to be the ones that are going to be wearing this for hundreds of hours. And I'm telling you, there's a really big difference between using something like these in your ears and using the Spinfits. The Spinfits, I've got two different sizes that helps with my specific ear types. And I like them the best because they give me a great seal. They're kind of tacky, so they stick just a tiny, they're not like, it's not like glue where it'll stick to you, but it just kind of, it's got a little bit of friction to it where it'll stay in your ear, create a good seal, gives you nice bass. For me, I tend to get a lot of IEMs that have a little bit of shout in the upper mids. I don't know, it's probably the way that just my ears are, but with these I don't get any of that. So that's a really good benefit to them. The final series, I think these are called the E series. These are excellent as well. In their own way. I don't like them quite as much. Like, I haven't done extensive testing, but they feel like they give me a little bit more bass and a little tighter upper range, but I haven't got a great feel for them yet, honestly. I've heard a lot of good things about them, but I'm not sure they're for me. So these spring tips, these tend to give you less bass, and they give you more in the treble, but they work really well. Like, if you have a muddier set, and let's just say that the mids feel like really too laid back for you and stuff, and you want and the bass is just too boomy, like these tend to clean that up. The comply tips are excellent. They give you really good isolation. For me, these don't isolate as well, but I think it's because, again, I have these giant ear canals, and the way that these go in, I still don't get excellent isolation, but they do have a Pro Series as well that I get amazing isolation out of, and those are, they have a deeper tip on them, so I can just insert them deeper, and I think that's probably what it is that I need that in order to get that sense of isolation from them. But on the Pro Series, I can tell you I get amazing isolation. Like I can barely hear anything around me at all. I can literally use a vacuum cleaner. I'm assuming I can mow and stuff with it and barely hear anything. So they're amazing for that. And these are the newest ones that I got. These are not, I haven't done a ton of testing with them, but they just feel like something like Apple would make or something. I mean, the silicone's really cool. It's got this kind of opaque color to it. It's very tacky. For me, it gave me, I've got these weird son of IEMs. I'm going to do a video for you guys later on. But these, in those, I was using stock tips that came with them. And this is the kind of what I was talking about. An example of it is that these tips gave me a seal and let these things stick, where before I would use them and they'd be in and then they're just kind of coming in and out of my ears all the time. And so these give me a much better seal, and I really like the tonal qualities of them, but again, I haven't done extensive testing with them, so I can't tell you for sure exactly how they are. But what I'm concerned about here is I'm concerned about the battery life of this. I don't think it's going to make it for us. We'll figure out something else. But right out of the gate, I'll tell you, I already tried these guys on, and when I did not get a good seal with the factory tips. So I'm hoping that these tips do better for us. As you can see, like these are your old blondes, and these are the new ones here. The paint is very similar. I love the purple, so I just got that. But it's got these weird moon things on it. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I love the look of it. Now, one thing, other people have said it, but if you haven't watched the videos, I like this. It says right and left on it, but this gives the appearance of being a removable cable, but it is not. So don't go yanking on that. It's all built in. Now, is that necessarily a bad thing? I think sometimes it can be a good thing to have it be plugged in. My friend Sonny, who's a musician, we were talking about this, and there's some musicians where you don't want the detachable cable, because when you do, if it comes detached, that's going to miss for them on the stage, where if they yank it out of their ear on mistake and then they put it back in, that's easy. But if you take a removable cable out, that could be a mess. So for certain people, this could actually be a benefit. So I'm going to try some different tips now, and we will see how it sounds. All right, charging cable to the rescue. Let us connect these and see what we get. So again, I had already tried out the ear tips that came with it, so I'm not going to do that again. I can't even get a good seal of them. That's why I'm not using them. But now we're going to try some different tips and see how that works out. So I guess I'm thinking, so I cheated. I already listened to these once, but my initial impressions were that it seemed like there was good bass, but that the high end was like, whoa, like way out of control. So I'm going to start with putting some of these foam tips on it. Now the foams for me give me like a sense of, it's funny because some people I've talked to do not get this out of it, but the sonic qualities that I get out of it is that it decreases the bass just a touch for me, and I also lose some of the high end. So basically, like the more V-shaped stuff that's a little out of control that way, like I haven't tried them on it, but it would probably work really well. It's like the CCA, CRA. These would be like a really good fit for if you wanted to tone down the crazy just a little bit on it. So I'm gonna put these on, see how it sounds. You gotta squish them in. It feels pretty good for a seal, actually. Let's see how these sound. The bass is definitely good. I enjoy that. It's maybe a slight boominess, but I'm not sure without doing some A/B testing. We'll also listen to the BLON BL03s and kind of put them against it and see what the difference is, how they sound differently. I mean, they're easy to drive. I'm only giving them about half power off the Apple dongle. I'm getting decent imaging. I can hear over here. And then the second vocal kind of over here. Then I hear Christine McVeigh's over here. The guitars sound very crispy, so that's good. I got to tell you, that didn't sound half bad. That sounded a lot better than how I remembered them yesterday. And I think, I know I didn't use those. I'm not sure what I put on them. But it wasn't these spring tips, and it wasn't these guys. Or maybe it was these guys. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. But I can tell you, pretty surprised at how good this sounds. Now, I don't know, it could just be the time of night it is or whatever. I haven't listened to music today, so I do find that sometimes when I haven't listened to music all day and then I listen to music, just the act of listening to music brings me a lot of joy. So I'm not sure that these sound great. But you know what? The ones that I'm the most interested in and how they stack up against is the BLON BL03. And so we are going to pop those in and see, I can kind of tell you what I'm hearing difference-wise between them. Okay, and for the sake of keeping things fair, I guess, or at least similar, we will put the foamies back on the BLON BL03 and see how these compare. I love the blondes. I love the way once you get the right tips on them, I love the way they fit. They're so nice. They're not labeled very well though. Let's make sure. Yeah, this is the right side. Okay, I didn't put them on backwards. That's always embarrassing. So we'll put these on. So, all right, let's listen to Dreams on the Blondes. These are some of my favorite IEMs ever, especially for the price. Should have made sure I volume matched this, which I didn't. I think that's about where I was though. I want to say I feel like I get less bass presence. Okay, I don't let the blondes. The foams are not my favorite for them. The way that my ears work, I like the bass presence, the thump that they get, and for me, I get kind of a pretty clear vocal from them with the right IEM. So for me, I actually really like the Spinfits with them because they give me just a little bit better thump. They give me just a ton or a tiny bit of reduction in the upper middle range, which is nice, and just generally, like tonally, I really like it, and you can just listen to them all day. So I'm gonna put those on the blondes here. Let me do the math. So I do, with the blondes, I do the right hand side is always the smaller one. Yes, so yellow is the smaller one. And that is left. Okay, so I finally got it. I got the left on the left and the right on the right and the right tips on them, and we should be good. So let's listen here. Yeah, these are like my favorite tips of them. Let's see what we get now. It's so much better for me with the Spinfits on them. I get really good hi-hats. I get a deeper, not like deeper, but just like a more punchy bass. Like I really feel like I'm listening to somebody playing the drums with it. So I'm going to put the foamies back on these guys because I can tell you, if you're treble sensitive at all, I definitely would not recommend these, but maybe they're salvageable if you get the right tip combination to go with them. Let's see. You're feeling. Let's see. What's amazing about the blondes, it's not like sonically they're that incredible. It's just that it just sounds like what it's supposed to sound like. A drum sounds like a drum, and the voices sound right, and it just, it just feels like, oh, okay, well, this is what I imagine rock and roll and different things to sound like, and it does a good job of it. And then when you crank it up a little bit, especially if you get the right tips, the highs aren't too fatiguing, and the lows are very punchy and enjoyable, and you can just listen to them all day. And if you lose them, you're out $25, not hundreds of dollars, and they're wonderful. So anybody that is on a budget and wants like a really well-tuned bassy IEM, especially if you like rock and roll and stuff like that, it is so good. Okay, now we're going to go back to one more listen, trying to put the best foot forward of each of these and see what we get. So put these back up here. Put these back up on the table. And then we're going to put these guys back in my ear. See, the seal's pretty good, but I think the way my ears are set up, like these are the larges even. Where am I? The larges, and even the larges do not give me an excellent seal. So I think it's just, I just need the pro versions. Hopefully I'm going to be getting some of those soon and we can listen to them together. Okay, so I got the foamies back in. Let's plug them in and let's see if I still like how they sound. I do like how they sound with the foams. They're very clear and crispy. I really think the foams, for the way my ears work, they help to get that all in line. The bass, if anything, is a little bit richer than the BLON BL03s. It's like got like more openness and airiness too. Now I need to go to a different song and see if I'm hearing different, because I mean that worked really well for me. I would not complain about having to listen to those, and I'd argue that I enjoyed listening to them more than the 03s in terms of it gives you more airiness, a little bit better bass. It gives you I don't know, it's just pretty damn good. I really can't complain. Alright, so the next song that we're going to listen to is Hotel California by the Eagles off their Hell Freezes Over album in '94. It's got a live audience, and the audience is laid out really well, so you can really, if it's got good sound stages and IEM, you can hear it really well. It's got very good instrument separation. You got deep bass, you've got, you know, good vocals in it. You really got everything that you'd want to test a song out, assuming it's not electronic or something like that. So let's listen to that. It doesn't have a very big sound stage. It's not very wide, but most IEMs don't. It feels pretty intimate. Guitars are very crispy. The boom boom has got a good thump to it. Instrument separation is good. It's just the sound stage isn't huge. I really like how guitars sound with these, with the foams. I guess I'd describe it as like warm and crispy at the same time. The bass feels warm, but the guitars and stuff feel very crispy. Now, the singer on this sometimes can be a little shouty for me, but I'm not getting that with the foams here. It feels good. It feels like pretty clean and clear, but just like a quarter of the step back. Like it doesn't feel fatiguing at all. Let's see what volume I'm at here. It's funny, but like even like a half step up and it starts to feel a little bit boomy. I don't know that this is the set for you. If you want to crank it up, I think that it's going to get kind of muddy. If you listen to moderate volumes, it'll probably be pretty good. Okay, let's try something else. All right, let's listen to Cold Heart by Elton John. I'm not putting that video on, that'll get me in trouble. Nice try. The bass is very good. His vocal is like airy and like very kind of just out front, like just kind of out here. See, something about this combo is really working for me, because I listened to these yesterday and I've listened to them with a lot of IEMs, and the issue with this particular song is that Elton sounds good, then the bass, it kind of like smacks, you know, instead of like feeling like boom, like kind of really getting out there in front of you, and it doesn't quite ring right. And then when Dua Lipa comes in, it feels like her voice is almost like shouty, and it just doesn't work great. But this is really working well for me. You know what I want to try? I'm going to take these back off and put a different set of tips on them and see if I'm getting what I remember from yesterday. Because I do know I do remember agreeing with some of the other reviewers out there that I put them in within 5 minutes. I was just like, nah, that ain't it, you know. But maybe they just need the right tips. Maybe that's our crusade, is to teach the world about the correct tips. I can tell you that those complies sounded really good. So what did I use? I guess I'll just start with, I think that I use these, but I don't know enough about these to really be good. I guess I'll just use my my favorites, my Spinfits, and see how those sound, because I know what they usually do to things, and see what I'm getting from them, because I'm just not agreeing with what everybody else said right now. I kind of like these. I mean, when I put these in, what I hear is they're like it's like you listen to the blondes after them, and it feels like, okay, less impactful bass, less airiness in the vocals, less instrument separation. Like, it really does feel like these are good. Like, I like these. Let me just make sure it's not just the magical tips that are doing it. So what do we got? The left is gonna be, sorry guys, I'm kind of tired. Been a long day, but I want to get some more video out, so I do that. That's gonna be my left, and this will be my right, and okay, we got it. They're in. Okay, now let's see what I think about this now. Okay, yeah, I think that is it. Almost immediately I can hear it. The bass sounds good, but Elton sounds good. Let's see what Dua Lipa sounds when she's coming in. Okay, yeah, like one step and it starts kind of not doing it. It starts to get shouty. So I think what I'm hearing with these is, if you listen at moderate volumes and you want a good sense of space with the air, and you want to be able to hear the bass and stuff, like, you can get all these with the when you listen with these at a moderate volume. You don't have to crank it way up. But if you're just the kind of person that cranks it, I feel like these are going to distort, or maybe it's just that the upper mids start getting out of control really quick when you turn them up. But as I'm turning up to higher volumes, I don't like them as much, and I immediately, when I put these in now, these tips usually give me a little bit less in the upper mids than like stock tips, but I think they give you still more upper mids than the foamies do from Comply. So I think you kind of need the foams if you're going to have these. Again, if you've listened to me and other stuff and it worked for you, and you think that was about right, then that's what I would say with these, is that you get, if you put the foams in and you chill out those, like, I guess they're going for like a more aggressive V shape, but it's pretty strong. I feel like you're going to have a good experience with these if you use them in the way that they're meant to be used. Which maybe just you have to put the right tips on them so that they don't blast you with treble.